Okay, so this gonna be your tutorial on how to use FL Studio. I'm gonna load it up. We're gonna go over here to the channel rack. This is your channel rack where you could put all your claps, any instruments here, and whatever, right? Control X to delete, which is basically just cutting it. Actually, that's what that does. Control X is cutting. If you come over here, this little thing right here, this sets it to automatically 8 bars, 32, 16, um, 1 bar even. But I usually do like 8 to 4 bars. Let's make some like, I don't know. Let's make some like 2000s something. Let's pull up Triton. So we got the chord Triton here. Oh, this video is gonna be all over the place. I'm sorry, but yeah, effects that I have on the master, just basic limiter. I'm pretty sure this is all default. Soft clipper on the master. This is just default. The multi-band compressor, and I use the general purpose. I use this one right here, the one that's highlighted. And yeah, that's it. That's all I use for the master, and that's how everything is super punchy when I make my stuff. So yeah. Yeah, let's make some 2000s. I use Tempo Tapper sometimes, just kind of really feel out what I'm hearing in my head. So, hey, hey, mm, mm. All right, 98. We'll go with that. It's somewhere around there, anyways. It's all right. Um, yeah. So for like 2000 beats, you want like a random synth sound. Just kind of make sure it's kind of like fast, I guess. I'm gonna turn off the ARP and the delay on this. I'm getting a little bit of a smoother sound going. Usually for like 2000s beats, really, I kind of just pick whatever note. So like we'll just go with F, I guess. But we are in the key of C minor because this note is highlighted. And if you want to make beats in different scales, but you don't know the actual scales because you don't know music theory, you go up here. This is a little drop down menu. Then you go to view, right click, and you go to scale highlighting, right click to keep all of these menus up. So you right click it, and then if you want to, you can pick whatever. You right click minor natural, Aeolian, or you can right click major. Literally any of these scales you can use, and it will highlight it on your piano roll. I personally I use minor a lot, and you can just right click and it'll change it no matter what. But yeah, we're gonna work in C minor, and this is F minor, major, minor 7, minor ninth, minor 11th. I don't know. Nice. Sounds really nice. All right, but yeah. Actually, matter of fact, let me turn on my camera. Why not? Let me turn on my camera. Why not? Haven't seen me in a while. Let me do this. All right. I'm not cutting this video. I'm just gonna post this and upload it as is, cause yeah, why not? Get to see the whole process. My camera's off still. Dang. Okay. Sweet. All right. So yeah. I'm gonna do a little bit of that. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds too similar. If I bring it all the way down to C, I'm pretty sure that's where it sounds nice actually. I like that. I like that a lot actually. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my scroll wheel on this little box right here, and I'm gonna just use my scroll wheel down, kind of. So you can either pinch it or you can like widen it, kind of stretch it out. I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit so I can see. But yeah, and then you copied it over. We're gonna select it all with control and then drag, and then I'm gonna do control B, and then do that to deselect it, control D. I'm gonna shorten this just a little bit, probably like to here. I'm gonna copy it over, and now I'm probably just gonna do this, and then do that. Actually, I'm gonna use this noisy stabber sound as a for the stab. What I did just now was I right click and then I press C to clone it. So yeah, probably get another layer going for this, and I'll probably use these. Probably use, go to fast synth, probably use synth sweeper. I liked it a lot. Detune on the other one is 70. This is tuned to 50. Right to 5 cents. So we're gonna tune this to 7 cents as well. Kicks that I use, I don't know. Sometimes I like to use this kick, even this kick. I don't know. I like this one a lot. One of my go-to kicks, honestly. So velocity obviously is like how hard it hits, how loud, basically volume. So and then I'm just gonna click and drag and hold control, and then I'm just gonna press control B a bunch of times to get that fully. I didn't even save the project. Ooh, advanced fill. Really, really fun to do. So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna press F. And then intervals is basically how many and for how long. So like if I did one, it's like constant. You know? So we're gonna do 8, so it's on the 2 and the 4. So it hits on the 2 and the 4 because we are also in halftime, kind of, since we're in 104. Double time, that would be 208. Halftime, that would be what, 52? So yeah. And obviously for like 2000s beats, you want to use more so live sounds. My clap is not very lively, but I do have a shaker. And I know you got sauce with them shakers. You gotta have that sauce with it, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, play with the velocities, make it sound a little real. And then also, if you want to have even more realism, you can click on whatever sound you have, go to the wrench, and then play with the shift knob a little bit. This is what's gonna give it a little bit of some swing. It's really nice. So it's not like completely on grid. So you can place it on the grid, but it'll give it a little bit of swing, which is really, really nice. But yeah, play with the shift knob, even with like hi-hats, anything like that. Even kicks too, you know. It's great, good for lo-fi beats. I think I'm just gonna keep that. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that. It's just super simple, just super nice. Oh yeah, so you can also replace things instead of, doing it this way, which is the normal way to do it. You can also open it and actually go into the sampler and just drag it. And then there you go. Also some secret sauce for creating leads, chords, whatever. If you click on typing, this little typing icon right here, if you right click it and then select whatever scale you're working in with whatever root note, if you click on it, your keyboard it'll be in key pretty much. Going from left to right, so like A on my keyboard is C, C on my keyboard is all the way down here, and it goes from really high up here down to 6, 5, and 4. But you can also change that too with different octaves here. I just use 4 because I go all the way up from 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, pretty easy. But yeah, really helpful whenever you're just trying to like play out like melodies and whatnot. Oh, see, like just play it out. Just play it out. It's all right. So yeah, you can turn this off actually if you want to record, because I know you also do like, you can also finger drum, which is really nice. You can do a little recording pre-count right here, so it'll count you off before actually recording, or before you actually record. So like 2, 3. So yeah, and then you can just get like the cleanest takes there. But me personally, I'm gonna click it in because I'm just like that, I guess. So yeah, I'm also gonna turn up the velocity, and then I can just turn it down here. as this actually. Don't be afraid to like go really high with the octaves. Maybe not like up here, but like with my 2000s beats, as you've already heard, I like to do a little call and response action. So I'm going to shift, control. I'm going to control shift, and I'm going to highlight by dragging and clicking with my mouse. I'm going to press X. I'm going to clone Triton for a fourth time. And I'm going to paste it using Control V. And I'm going to put it where it's supposed to be, which is right here. And I'm going to choose a different sound. So it's kind of like, it gives the listener a different feel. So it's just like, oh, okay. And then it's just like, oh, dang, we using a whole different sound. Like, clavy lead synth, or this clavy. With the clavy. With this, I like to turn it up a lot because it's a little. I already forgot the pattern. Oh wait, if you forget the pattern, but you're also kind of like playing with it, what you can do is you can go to, I believe it's okay, it's in macros, it's over here, and then you go to, and then you dump score log to selected pattern, and then you can do like last 2 minutes. Oh wait. Okay, so don't use replace, so do like last 2 minutes and then merge. But this is just so I can get a remembrance of what it was. That right there. So I'm going to pay. Oh, freak. So this, I want to keep. Everything else I'm going to delete. Yes, because I want this. Just to put it over here, and then we'll just like. So what I just did was I selected it, and then I did Control Q, which is to quickly quantize it. That's what that is. So yeah, let me do this real quick, because now I need everything back. Oh wait, it's gonna look you follow the pattern of this. stabs. And then we'll do bass, and then we'll be chilling. So I was gonna use this for that, for the stabs. I'll keep the delay on, maybe. Yeah, I'll keep it on. So literally for the stabs, what I'm gonna do is I'm literally going to take the chord itself, and then I'm just gonna kind of pluck it like this, in a way. Shoot. Also some secret sauce right here. Just this right here is sauce. That right there is sauce alone. And then what I'm gonna do, so you can kind of hear that it is actually kind of like not all just like the same like note duration. I'm gonna select all of these. They kind of like touch each other or connecting. I don't want to say touching each other. That's weird. But yeah. And then I'm going to hold Alt and drag just a little bit. That's how I'm able to kind of. So like usually if it's just on the grid, it would only, I can't really make the note any shorter. So I'm gonna hold Alt and then I'm just gonna drag. And then you can just do it anywhere. And then I can literally just copy this over a whole bunch of times. And that's our stabs. So like. Also, a really cool thing that you can do is you can control and then drag all of these in this little box right here. Go up here, transpose, and let's say, because for the sake of it, we can transpose it up by like 2. That literally shifts all of your melodic stuff or anything that's selected here up by 2 notes, right? So it goes from whatever key we were working in to now D minor. Okay, I think that's a little too high, so I'm gonna to bring it down one, so I just press -1. How I get my song, or like how my bass is just super like punchy for my like 2000s beats, is I use a sub. I don't actually use an actual 808. I use an actual like sub bass instead, cause yeah, it's pretty nice. And I'm just gonna follow the bass notes here, or the root notes. Oh, if you notice, your basses will do this occasionally. So cut itself. So, okay, click on it, go to the wrench, press cut itself. So now it won't really overlap each other for the most part. So what it means by cut itself, or cut self, is whatever note is played, it'll automatically stop playing the next one and go to the next one instead of. Okay. Go to your envelope. Okay. Because we don't like that, we're gonna go to our little envelope here. You're going to hold Alt. You're going to scroll down, scroll up, scroll down, down, down. Or you could even do the sustain as well. It's basically the same thing, but I do the hold personally. So yeah, if that also kind of helps with getting rid of muddiness. But yeah, that's what I do. Because it's throwing me off just a little bit. Notes, you can use other notes in the chord as well. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this over, and then now because here, right? I mean, technically it's like the right. It can be there, but it would sound better down here because it's hitting the root note. So now I'm just gonna copy this over. I'm going to double click here, and it highlights everything. I'm going to go back to my my master or my mixer here, and then I'm gonna do Control Shift and L, and then it just puts it routes everything that you selected in your channel rack to the mixer automatically. Don't even have to worry about it. Don't even have to rename it. It's there for you already. It's there for you already. That's why these shortcuts are amazing. And then here you just level everything out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sidechain it. This is how I sidechain it personally. I will click this so the kick is routing to the sub, but also routing to the mixer. Yes. And then I'll click on the whatever like bass or 808, and then I will go to the limiter, and I'll go to compression, and I will right click and I'll see my kick there. I already have a sidechain preset just to make it easier for me. So you sidechain things to your bass so that you can hear it, so you can hear the kick coming through the mix. And you just tweak it. And you can literally see it to where the bass is literally coming down in volume whenever you're... That's what this little purple part is of it. That's the little purple part. That's what that is. It's the kick coming through and then the actual sub bass coming in right after. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just the drums. Obviously, see that our snare is really, really loud. Along with this. I'm going to press Control. I'm going to hold Control, and then I'm going to drag over. I'm going to right-click, route to this track only. This is how you can also save CPU space or your CPU load on your FL projects, so your computer doesn't like die. You route everything to one like this, so they can all have their own individual volumes, and then you route them all to one mixer track, right? So all of these mixer tracks are routed to this insert right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to EQ all of the lows. I'm going to take out all the lows so that my bass has space to actually be in the mix. That's pretty much what mixing is all about. Creating space for everyone. That's pretty much all that is. Okay, so that literally just brings it up and brings it away. That's all that does. Because if you see, right? Because if you... So usually it would be... But instead I like to do this to where it shows like the EQ of everything, I guess, so to speak. So I can see where space is being taken up and by what individual instrument. And also you can just hear it. So there's a lot of low end on this. So there's a lot of this low end and we want to get rid of that. That's a lot of low end, and because we already have our kick, which is going to be taking up the low end, our bass as well, that's also taking up the low end as well. See, so now my bass is clear. Now that I'm able to actually have both this, the stab, and then also the bass. I found out very, very new to do, or not new to do, but something that will actually help your mixes a lot better is make sure that you have your like your kicks and your basses on mono instead of stereo, because so like if you're in a car, right, you have subwoofers that take care of the low end, you have your mids that take care of the mid ranges, and you have your tweeters that take care of your high ranges. So basically you're evening out the load throughout the speakers, like in a car or like even with a sound system. You're trying to make sure that you're also not overloading that system as well. So that's why, you actually have to make sure it's mono and not actually stereo. You want to make sure that it's just direct. It's gonna help your mix a lot. What I'm gonna do, because I realized that I am missing some stuff in here. Like, it sounds good where it's at, but like I kind of want to add some more stuff. I'm hearing some more stuff, maybe like a triangle. Adding, yeah, a triangle, maybe a little breath, a little for real breath going ha ha. More like a ha ha type beat. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now. So yeah, let me do that real quick. Where's it at? My own 2000s kit. So yeah, this little huff right here. I love using this huff so much. And then, so if you notice, there's a little bit of low end, and we can literally just take that out by EQing it. So like even with the snare too, I could also just take out some of the low end too. But because this is for, you can also rename it, and then we'll do like, so then we'll do that, and then we can literally just have another one routing to like either here or even on the actual mixer itself for whatever instrument, and I can just take out the lows. It does sound a little bit thinner though, I will say. I kind of like having the low end of the snare, so you can kind of hear the whole thing. And also doesn't really matter that much with like your drums necessarily. I would say more so your melody, your melodic instruments like chords, leads, pads, whatever, to kind of cut those out so that your bass can actually hit through the mix a lot cleaner, because the goal is a clean mix type beat. I think I'm just gonna do that and keep it really nice and simple. Different stuff around the mixer is I do alt and then I just use my arrow keys. So I can go like here, I can go here. Yeah, it's really nice. now we are back. So this brings up your little playlist, right? This is, yeah, called the playlist. So what you can do, you can right click on this pattern, press S, that splits everything by channel. So now everything is individually now playing instead of it being all clumped up together. It's like arranging. This is the arrangement part, kind of like how you would in BandLab, anything like that, right? Anything you would do in BandLab, GarageBand, anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a little intro here, actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press Control R. I'm going to render this out as a wave. I'm gonna just name it that for the tail. For this specifically, I'm going to cut the tail. Full song, you could even do pattern, but for this, we're gonna do the whole song. And then we're gonna render it out. Render this as a waveform, right? We're gonna drag it back into FL Studio. We're gonna move this. This is why we also were doing the mixing before we actually exported it, so that we can get this to sound similar to this. So then we're gonna do our little intro, probably like a simple 4 count. I think that would be nice, just a simple 4 count into it. Oh wait, okay, wait, I messed it up. Right, so just a little simple 4 count. Right, and then we bring it over. And because it sounds a little wacky, just turn this down a little bit. Just to where it sounds right there pretty much. So yeah, that's what I do. How I do like my little DJ scratch intros, which I really like actually. I'm gonna add a little bit of some effects here as well. Add the little chime on the little downbeat. Yeah, actually, yeah, let's do that intro because that intro is really, really nice. I like that one a lot. So what we're gonna do, grab whatever DJ scratch of your choice. I personally like this one a lot for this intro. I have to stretch this. So this is stretch. Can literally just stretches it without changing pitch. Well, it does mess with pitch, but that's where you go into here, stretch. So I'm just gonna nudge just a slight, so it's in time. So I'm going to, and then I'm going to take off the stretch mode, and I'm gonna. That's basically how I do my intros. So what I'm gonna do actually, so we're gonna do another 5 count for you, for all the great listeners at home. And then just error. And also my tag, of course. Gotta put your tag in there for real. Lotus. This is what I do with my tag, cause the way that I did mine, I did not do it right, so I always have to do this. And then I go here to fade, and I fade it out. Lotus. And then obviously just make sure that your tag is in time. Because if it's not in time, it's gonna sound like booty buns. So yeah. Lotus. So arranging time, I'm gonna probably not speed this part up, but it's just gonna be really easy, really quick, really simple. I'm just gonna talk throughout this entire portion, or speed through this entire portion actually, since it's not gonna take long at all. I'm gonna bring this back in. take this, take this. And then, because this will be a verse, I'm going to take this out, just simplify the verse just a little bit. Bring back the counter melody. And then probably take this. Oh well, do this, take all of this out, take all of this out. And then basically do this, take this back. Bam, oh shoot. What the heck? Oh. Oh, okay. It's just now wanting to do its thing. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all of this, and I'm just gonna click and drag, and do this. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this on probably every 8, honestly. It's nice, I like it a lot. Haven't used chimes much in my beats. Probably should. Carries a lot of energy. Here we did a little delay drop thing on the first half, but we're not gonna do that here. And then we'll put one here. And then I think, actually, how long is this already? This is what, already, dang. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna get rid of this verse, and then we're just gonna copy this again. And then do that. So it's one verse. So you get your chorus, hook, a little pre-chorus, pre-hook thing if you want, and then hook again. It's really simple arrangement. Keep your arrangements simple so that whenever you send them to somebody, it's easy. Usually you don't really want to do cuts like this, but I mean if they're well skilled enough, they can work with it. But yeah. And that is basically how you make a 2000s beat and how you work FL Studio. Loaded, 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 loaded.